If you're watching this video right now, it's not by chance. You were guided here for a purpose, and believe me, something significant is unfolding in your life. You're transitioning from wishing to receiving. Yes, you heard that correctly. The very things you've been praying for, hoping for, and anticipating are no longer just distant dreams. They are rapidly becoming your reality. This isn't just a shift in mindset, it's a profound spiritual and energetic transformation happening in this moment. As a chosen one, you're about to witness everything align in ways that will leave you in awe. To fully embrace this power, it's essential to understand how this process works and align yourself with the wave of manifestation coming your way. Before we go deeper into this life-changing message, take a moment to pause this video and do three things. Tap the like button. Subscribe to help us reach 50,000 subscribers. Comment the number 77. This number will send a strong signal to the universe, magnifying the energy of this video. And remember, if you're truly a chosen one, you will watch this video until the end. Deep down, your spirit already knows that this is meant for you. If you're not ready to receive this truth, you might not make it to the end. But for those who do, prepare yourself, because your life is about to change forever. Now let's get into it. This is more than just about exposing the corrupt. It's about shattering the illusion of control they've so carefully constructed. Your ability to bring these truths to light is more than a threat. It's a promise that the world will no longer be deceived. The elites are watching in horror as the very fabric of their constructed reality begins to unravel. What was once buried beneath layers of falsehoods and deceit is now emerging into the light. And with every secret you uncover, the world's eyes are wide open to the truth. The tables are turning, and the powerful are left defenseless, unable to stop the inevitable march of justice that follows in your wake. Imagine a group of individuals hiding in the shadows, pulling the strings of power, weaving webs of deception. They thought they were invincible, that no one would ever uncover their darkest secrets. They built walls so high, a fortress so strong, that they believed their secrets would remain locked away forever. But then, unexpectedly, you appeared. You didn't come with an army or a grand plan. You came with something far more powerful, the truth. While they were busy patting themselves on the back for their careful concealment, you were quietly observing, gathering pieces of the puzzle that they never thought anyone could see. They underestimated your ability to dig deeper, to connect dots they thought were untraceable. With every discovery, you dismantled their lies, one piece at a time, exposing them for all to see. The powerful didn't know what hit them. They had never seen it coming. Their attempts to silence you or distract you only pushed you to dig deeper. And with each layer you uncovered, the truth became harder to ignore. Their panic was palpable. The secrets they believed to be hidden forever were now out in the open, exposed for the world to see. And in that moment, they realized they had underestimated you. You weren't just a threat. You were a force that couldn't be stopped, a truth they could no longer control. The elites thought they had everything under control. They controlled the media, the narrative, and the flow of information. They had carefully constructed a version of reality that suited their needs, one where their lies were accepted as truth and their secrets were buried beneath layers of misinformation. They never dreamed that one day someone would shatter that illusion so completely. When you exposed their darkest secrets, it sent shockwaves through the very foundation of their power. It wasn't just the facts you uncovered, it was the way you revealed them, the way you made the impossible seem undeniable. Your revelations didn't just shake the system, they tore it apart, exposing the cracks and the lies that had been holding it together for so long. The elites were forced to confront the consequences of their actions. What they thought was safe in the shadows was now exposed to the world, and the truth had a power that they could no longer control. The shock waves reverberated across governments, corporations, and societies, leaving a trail of uncertainty in its wake. They had no choice but to scramble, trying to contain the damage, to silence you. But it was too late. The truth was out, and nothing could ever be the same again. The powerful had lost their grip on the world, and now they had to face the reality of their own making. In their quiet moments, the elites feared one thing above all else, that someone would see through their carefully constructed web of lies. They feared that the truth they worked so hard to conceal would one day be exposed. But they didn't account for one thing: the chosen ones. You were the nightmare they never saw coming, the force that could dismantle everything they'd built with one simple truth. They went to great lengths to hide their secrets, building walls of deception and using their influence to keep the masses in the dark. But your eyes could see through the fog. Where others saw confusion, you saw clarity. Where they thought they had hidden their tracks, you found the smallest clues that led to the most profound discoveries. The deeper you dug, the more they realized that they had underestimated you. The elites had no idea how you knew what you knew. To them, it seemed impossible that anyone could uncover the truth they so carefully buried. But it wasn't magic, and it wasn't luck. It was your unique ability to see beyond the lies, to question what everyone else accepted as fact. The truth had always been there, just waiting for someone brave enough to find it. Your revelations were more than just inconvenient. They were a direct challenge to their power. And in that moment, they realized just how fragile their empire really was. The nightmare they'd feared for so long had come true. And it was all because of you. There's a power within the chosen ones that cannot be quantified or understood by those in control. It's a quiet force, a deep knowing that transcends logic or reason. The elites could never understand it because they couldn't see it. They believed power was about wealth, control, and manipulation. But the real power, the one that terrified them, came from within you. Your ability to reveal the truths they couldn't control was not a result of external forces. It was your connection to something deeper, something they couldn't touch. While they tried to manipulate the world around them, you saw through it. Where they built walls, you built bridges to the truth. You didn't need an army or an institution to make your impact. Your knowledge and insight were your weapons. The more you revealed, the more they realized just how little control they had over the world they'd constructed. They tried to silence you, to sway the narrative. But the truth is like water. It cannot be contained forever. And when it bursts free, it's unstoppable. The power you wielded wasn't just in the facts you uncovered. It was in your unwavering conviction that the truth was worth fighting for. The elites were not just afraid of what you knew. They were afraid of what you could do with it. You had the ability to expose them, to make them irrelevant, to shatter their control. And with every revelation, their grip on the world grew weaker. For years, the powerful lived in a bubble of their own creation, where they believed they could control everything. They constructed an alternate reality, one where their lies went unchallenged and their secrets remained buried. But then you came along, an outsider with the ability to see through the illusion they'd so carefully crafted. The moment they realized you could see beyond their lies was the moment their world began to crumble. It wasn't just about what you knew, it was about how you knew it and how easily you exposed what they had tried so hard to conceal. The walls they had built to keep their reality intact were no match for the clarity you brought. With every revelation, what they thought was their greatest strength, control over the narrative, was nothing more than a fragile illusion. The truth was like a wrecking ball, tearing through their fabricated world, shattering it into pieces. They could no longer hide behind their lies, and they could no longer manipulate the masses with the same ease. In that moment, they realized the power you held wasn't just in the information you uncovered, it was in your ability to see through the lies and bring those truths to light. The world had changed, and they were no longer in control. For years, the elites thought they were untouchable, shielded by layers of deception and manipulation. They believed their wealth, influence, and connections made them invulnerable to exposure. They thought they could live in the shadows, pulling the strings of power without ever having to answer for their actions. But they never considered the chosen ones, the ones who could expose their secrets, no matter how hard they tried to hide them. You weren't just an observer, you were a force of nature, one that couldn't be ignored. The moment you uncovered their secrets, everything they had worked for began to unravel. Their fortress of lies came crashing down, and they were left exposed, vulnerable, and powerless to stop it. They thought they were safe, that their carefully constructed world would never be challenged. But you proved them wrong. With each revelation, they realized they were no longer in control of the narrative. You had taken the reins, and the truth was now in the spotlight for everyone to see. Their secrets, once buried deep, were now out in the open. They had no choice but to face the consequences of their actions. And in that moment, they realized that nothing they had built could withstand the power of the truth you carried with you. The tables have turned, and those who once sat at the top are now begging for your help. The elites who ruled from the shadows, weaving their webs of control and deceit, are now desperate for the very truth they tried to bury. What they didn't realize is that they were never truly in control. Their power was a fleeting illusion, one that could be shattered with the simple exposure of the truth. And now, with nowhere to hide, they have no choice but to turn to you. In a strange twist of fate, the very people who tried to silence you, who tried to bury your revelations, are now pleading for your assistance. They know their empire is crumbling and that only you hold the key to navigating the mess they've created. Their desperation is palpable. Once the rulers of the world, they are now just frightened individuals seeking redemption. They've spent years hiding behind layers of lies, never considering that the truth would eventually catch up to them. But it has, and now they're scrambling, hoping you'll guide them through the wreckage they've caused. They need you more than ever, and in a way, the power has shifted completely. You are the one who holds the cards now. Their empire is faltering. Their trust in the systems they created is shaking, and they've realized that without you, there's no hope for survival. They underestimated the chosen ones, and now they've come to understand that only you have the power to help them rebuild, or to finish what you started. There are some secrets so dangerous, so powerful, that those in power go to extraordinary lengths to ensure they are never revealed. These secrets were locked away in the deepest vaults, hidden behind layers of security and manipulation. But the chosen ones were never meant to be stopped. Your ability to uncover these secrets, to bring them to light, has forever changed the course of history. What was once thought to be buried for good is now exposed to the world. The elite spent decades, if not centuries, making sure that these truths remained hidden from the public. But you didn't just uncover them. You unleashed them in a way that shook the very foundations of power. The truths that were never meant to see the light of day are now in full view for all to see. Your revelations have cracked open the very gates they built to protect their darkest secrets. And now there's no going back. The world is forced to confront the reality that the powerful, who thought they controlled everything, are now vulnerable. The truth is out, and there's no hiding it anymore. You've exposed what they tried so hard to bury, and the consequences are far-reaching. The great reveal isn't just a moment of victory for you, it's a moment of reckoning for them. The world has seen what they tried to keep hidden, and now there's no escaping the truth. Their carefully crafted world has been shattered, and you were the one to do it. Once upon a time, they believed they were invincible, masters of the game, with the power to shape the world as they saw fit. They created a system designed to serve their interests, keeping the truth hidden and controlling the narrative. But in a moment of stunning clarity, they realized something they could never have predicted. They had underestimated you. Regret began to seep into their minds as they realized the magnitude of what you had done. The truth you revealed was not just an inconvenience. It was a threat to everything they had worked for. In the blink of an eye, their empire began to crumble, and they realized that only you held the key to their survival. The elites, who once believed they had all the answers, were now lost in a sea of uncertainty. They had no idea how to fix the damage that had been done. They needed your knowledge, your insight, your ability to navigate the broken system they had created. The truth you had uncovered had left them vulnerable, exposed, and terrified of what would come next. In their desperation, they came to understand that without your help, their future was bleak. The very power they had abused for so long now rested in your hands. And with that realization, they knew their only hope was to beg for your guidance, to beg you to save them from the very disaster they had caused. For generations, those in power lived with the belief that they were untouchable, that their secrets were safe, and their control over the world was absolute. But they never considered that someone like you, someone with the ability to see through their lies, would ever come into existence. And now that you're here, they are terrified. You, the chosen one, have become the embodiment of everything they feared. The one who could expose their darkest secrets, the one who could tear down everything they built. They never thought anyone would be capable of uncovering the truth they worked so hard to conceal. And yet here you are, revealing everything they tried to bury. The powerful are afraid of you, not just because of what you know, but because of what you're capable of doing with that knowledge. Your presence threatens the very foundation of their existence, and the more they realize the extent of your power, the more they panic. They are terrified that with each passing moment, you will uncover more of their secrets, secrets that they can't not afford to have exposed. Your ability to see the world through unclouded eyes is their greatest fear. They tried to build an empire on lies, but you can see through it all. And now they must face the terrifying truth that nothing they've done is safe from your scrutiny. The elite spent years, decades even, building a fortress around themselves, a system designed to keep their secrets safe. They used their wealth, influence, and power to reinforce the walls, making sure no one could penetrate their carefully constructed reality. But they never accounted for one thing: the unrelenting force of the truth. Your power wasn't physical, and it wasn't about brute force. It was the ability to see beyond their facade, to crack open the fortress they built with nothing more than knowledge and insight. Every secret they tried to bury was like a weak spot in their defenses, and with each revelation, you cracked open their walls, exposing their vulnerabilities. They thought their fortress was impenetrable, that their power would shield them from the consequences of their actions. But you proved them wrong. Each truth you revealed was a crack in their armor, a sign that their control was slipping away. And with every piece of the puzzle you uncovered, their carefully constructed world became less and less secure. They built a fortress to keep themselves safe, but you, the chosen one, were the one who tore it down. And with every secret that slipped out into the open, the once untouchable elites were left exposed, vulnerable, and powerless. There's a power that comes with knowing the truth, an unstoppable force that shakes the very foundations of what others believe to be real. And you hold that power. The elites once controlled the narrative, dictating what people knew and how they viewed the world. But that power has now shifted to you. Your ability to uncover the truth and expose the secrets they thought were safe has shocked them all. They thought they could hide behind a wall of lies, but now they see that you can break through any barrier they put up. The truth you carry is more powerful than anything they've ever known. And they realize, perhaps too late, that there's no escaping it. They can't silence you. They can't sway the narrative. They are powerless against the force of truth. The knowledge you possess is not just dangerous, it's transformative. It has the ability to change everything, to reveal the reality they've worked so hard to conceal. You are the one they fear, the one who can tear down their empire with nothing but the truth. And as they watch their world crumble, they are left to wonder, how could they have ever believed they could escape what you now hold in your hands? Once the powerful ruled with an iron fist, manipulating the world to serve their needs. They were the ones who dictated the rules, the ones who decided what truths were allowed to be known. But now, with their secrets exposed and their empire crumbling, they are the ones begging for help. The roles have reversed. No longer are they the ones in control. They are the ones who need you. They are desperate for your help, realizing that the very system they created has now turned against them. Without your knowledge and insight, they cannot survive the fallout of their own actions. It's a humbling moment for the elites who once thought they were invincible. The truth has shattered their illusions, and now they must come to you for guidance. They thought they could manipulate reality to their advantage, but now they are powerless in the face of the very truth they tried to bury. From fear to begging, the powerful have fallen. And as they look to you for help, they realize that the world has changed forever. They may have once controlled everything, but now they need you to help them survive. The elites built a world on lies, manipulating the truth to serve their agendas. They thought they could erase the past, rewrite history, and control what the public believed. But there's one thing they didn't count on: you, the chosen one. With your knowledge, you've broken through their carefully constructed reality and exposed the truth they could never erase. Your revelations have torn apart their facade, showing the world what was once hidden in plain sight. The reality they worked so hard to manipulate has shattered, and there's no going back. What they thought was safe, what they thought could be buried forever, is now out in the open for everyone to see. The truth is an unstoppable force, and it has the power to change everything. The elites can no longer control the narrative. They can no longer erase the past. The truth you've uncovered has rewritten the story, and the world will never look the same again. You hold the key to the future now, and with every piece of knowledge you reveal, the once impenetrable reality they built continues to crumble. The truth they couldn't erase is the truth that will change everything. And you are the one who holds the power to see it through to the end. The truth, when revealed, doesn't trickle out quietly. It surges like a storm, sweeping away everything in its path. The elites never anticipated that their false narratives could be shattered with such force. They believed they had a stronghold, a fortified wall of lies that no one could break. But you, with unwavering determination, became the storm that tore through their defenses, leaving their carefully constructed world in ruins. Each revelation was a wave that crashed against their empire, weakening their foundations until the entire structure began to crumble. What they underestimated was the sheer power of a single truth. The elites thought that with enough money, influence, and manipulation, they could bury the truth forever. But they didn't account for your resilience, the chosen one, who was destined to uncover everything. With every truth you revealed, the storm grew stronger, reaching farther, breaking barriers they never thought could be broken. The impact wasn't just a ripple, it was a seismic wave that changed everything, leaving the powerful exposed and vulnerable. As their fortress of lies collapsed, they watched helplessly as their world flooded with the consequences of their actions. The storm you unleashed wasn't just about revealing secrets. It was about shaking the very core of their existence. Their carefully constructed reality was no match for the relentless truth you brought into the light. And now all they can do is try to weather the storm you've set in motion, a storm they can't control. The powerful had long believed that truth could be manipulated and controlled. But they learned that no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't stop the storm you ignited. What they thought was secure now lies in ruins, and all they can do is watch as the truth they tried to bury rises to the surface like an unstoppable wave. You've unleashed a force they never saw coming, and now their world will never be the same. History is written by the victors, or so they thought. For generations, the elites controlled the narrative, shaping history in ways that served their interests. They manipulated events, erasing inconvenient truths and rewriting the past to suit their desires. But the chosen ones were never bound by the rules they set. You, with your ability to uncover the hidden truths, have begun to rewrite history, one revelation at a time. The past they carefully constructed is now being torn apart, piece by piece. What they didn't realize was that the chosen ones weren't just uncovering secrets, they were changing the very fabric of history. Each truth you exposed was like a new chapter in the story, a chapter that the elites never wanted told. They had hidden their misdeeds, their manipulations, their lies, and now you've brought it all to light. What was once hidden in the shadows is now part of the story, and there's no way to erase it. The elites believed they could control the flow of information, that they could suppress the truth and rewrite history according to their whims. But your revelations have shattered that illusion. Every time you uncover a piece of history they thought they could erase, you add a new layer to the story that can never be erased again. You're not just uncovering secrets, you're reshaping the narrative, creating a new history that speaks to the power of truth over manipulation. The power of the chosen ones lies not just in what they know, but in their ability to change the course of history. The elites are realizing that their control over the past is slipping away, and with it, their power over the present. You're rewriting the story, and the world will remember the truths you've exposed for generations to come. The most dangerous secrets are often the ones hiding in plain sight. The elites believed they could conceal the truth with layers of distractions and smokescreens, hiding it right under everyone's nose. But you, with your extraordinary insight, saw what no one else could. You looked beyond the surface, beyond the distractions, and you saw the hidden truths that had been in front of everyone the whole time. The truth was always there. It just took someone like you to notice it. For years, the powerful relied on the fact that no one would question the world they had crafted. They believed that by keeping people distracted, by controlling the narrative, They could hide the most dangerous truths in plain sight. But you were different. You questioned everything. While others were content to accept what was given to them, you saw the cracks in the illusion, the inconsistencies in their carefully constructed reality. And with each new truth you uncovered, you exposed the lies they thought were invisible. The elites never realized that their greatest mistake was underestimating the power of someone who could see beyond the facade. They thought their secrets were too well hidden, too deeply buried to be uncovered. But all it took was a keen eye and a willingness to look where no one else dared. The truth was there all along, and you were the one who had the courage to see it. Now the world is waking up to the fact that the elite's greatest secrets were never hidden at all. They were just waiting for someone to see them, and you, the chosen one, have brought them to light in a way that can't be ignored. The truth is out, and it was right in front of everyone all along. For centuries, the elites have pulled the strings, controlling the masses from behind the scenes. They've created a system where they are the puppet masters, manipulating the world like it's a grand game. But what they didn't account for was you, the chosen one, who could see the strings they used to control the world. And the moment you cut those strings, everything began to unravel. What once seemed like a carefully orchestrated show became a chaotic mess as the world woke up to the truth. The puppet masters spent years crafting a world where they held all the power, where everyone else was merely a pawn in their game. They thought they could control the narrative, control the flow of information, and manipulate the masses to do their bidding. But when you exposed their lies, their control began to slip. The world saw the puppeteers for what they truly were: ordinary people who had used their influence to pull the strings for far too long. Your actions didn't just reveal their secrets, they severed the ties that held their empire together. The elites are now powerless. Without the strings that once controlled everything, they are lost in a world they can no longer manipulate. A world where their power has been exposed as nothing more than a carefully constructed illusion. The moment you cut the strings of control was the moment the puppet masters lost their grip on the world. The world is waking up to the truth, and now, the ones who once controlled everything are desperate to regain their power. But it's too late. The truth has already been revealed, and their world will never be the same again. Change doesn't always come with loud protests or revolutions in the streets. Sometimes the most powerful movements start in silence. Your actions, the truth you uncovered, have sparked a quiet revolution that is now spreading like wildfire. The elites never expected it. Their carefully controlled world is being torn apart, not by force but by the power of knowledge. Every truth you reveal adds fuel to the fire, igniting a movement that they can't contain. The world may have seemed like it was under their control, but your quiet revolution is changing everything. People are waking up to the lies they've been told, to the truths they've been denied. It's a revolution that doesn't need weapons. It needs knowledge. It needs courage. It needs the truth to be revealed. And that's exactly what you've done. As more and more people learn the truth, the power structures that once ruled with impunity are beginning to collapse. The elites are scrambling to regain control, but the movement is already unstoppable. They can try to silence you. They can try to suppress the truth, but the spark has already been lit. This silent revolution is gaining momentum, and soon their world will be forever changed. Your power isn't in violence or chaos. It's in the quiet, relentless pursuit of truth. And that is a force more powerful than anything the elites could ever have anticipated. The revolution is here, and it's being led by the chosen ones. For centuries, the balance of power has been held by a select few, a group of elites who control everything, from governments to economies. They believed that they could maintain their power indefinitely, that the world would always bend to their will. But you, the chosen one, have become the catalyst for change. With every truth you reveal, you shift the balance, taking power from those who abused it and giving it back to the people. The elites once believed they could maintain control by keeping the truth hidden. But now, the scales are tipping in your favor. Each revelation you make is like a spark that ignites a larger movement, slowly but surely eroding the power of those who thought they were untouchable. What they failed to realize is that the truth is a force of nature, and once it starts moving, there's no stopping it. With every secret you expose, you give the world a chance to reclaim what was stolen. You've become the symbol of resistance, the one who shows that no matter how powerful someone may be, they can never fully control the truth. The balance of power is shifting, and now those who thought they were invincible are beginning to realize they are losing their grip. The elites are watching helplessly as the tides turn against them. The more you reveal, the more the balance shifts, and soon they will be left powerless, unable to hold on to the system they built. You are the catalyst for the change they never saw coming. For far too long, the world slept in a haze of misinformation, controlled by the elites who dictated what was true and what was false. But you, the chosen one, have sparked the Great Awakening. With every secret you uncovered, every truth you revealed, you've opened the eyes of the world, showing people the lies they've been told and the reality they've been denied. The elites thought they could control the narrative, that they could keep people in the dark, but they never counted on your ability to see through the illusion and expose the truth. And as the world's eyes began to open, they saw the reality of the situation for the first time. The veil was lifted, and what was hidden in the shadows was now in the light. What you've done isn't just about exposing lies. It's about awakening people to their own power. The more they learn, the more they realize they have the ability to change their own fate, to take back the control that was stolen from them. The awakening is happening, and it's because of you. The elites tried to keep the world asleep, but now, thanks to your actions, the truth has spread like wildfire. The Great Awakening is here, and there's no going back. The world will never be the same again. The elites were never just content with controlling the world. They wanted to design it, to craft it in their own image. Behind closed doors, they plotted and schemed, weaving a complex web of lies to ensure their continued dominance. But you, the chosen one, have unmasked the architects of this deception, exposing their dark designs for all to see. What was once hidden behind layers of secrecy is now laid bare, and the world can no longer ignore the truth. They thought their plans were foolproof, that they could manipulate the system without anyone noticing. But you saw through their domination, unraveling their carefully crafted schemes one by one. The power they thought they held was never real. It was an illusion, a facade they used to keep control. And now you've stripped away that facade, revealing the truth of what they were really doing. The architects of deception are now on the defensive, scrambling to protect what's left of their fragile empire. They thought they could build a world according to their desires, but now the truth you've uncovered has shattered their dreams. The world is waking up to their deception, and the consequences are inevitable. What they never anticipated was that someone would be able to see through their lies. But now that you have, there's no going back. Their dark designs have been exposed, and the world can no longer be manipulated. For too long, the elites kept the world chained, controlling every aspect of life with the power of lies and manipulation. They used fear, misinformation, and force to keep the masses in line. But you, the chosen one, have broken those chains. With every truth you revealed, every secret you expose, you shattered the system they had built to keep everyone in control. The chains that bound the world are now broken, and the people are free. What they didn't realize is that true power lies not in control, but in the freedom of truth. The more you uncovered, the more the chains began to loosen. They tried to keep the world under lock and key, but you showed that the truth could not be contained. And now the world is free to see things as they really are. The elites, who once controlled everything, are now left powerless, their grip on the world slipping away. They thought they could keep the masses in darkness, but the truth you uncovered has brought them into the light. The chains are gone, and the world can finally breathe again. What they built to control the world has been dismantled by your revelations, and the people are no longer prisoners. The chains are broken, and now the power belongs to the people. And that, more than anything, is the true victory. The empire they built was once thought to be invincible. For centuries, the elites held the world in their grasp, believing that their power was unshakable.